All right, we're going to transition just a little bit into talking about acids and bases and why they're important. So water will sometimes split to form ions, and when it splits, it forms hydronium and hydroxide ions, or H plus and OH ions. In pure water, only about 1 in 550 million molecules split. This is why we call water a neutral substance. In terms of pH, it is a neutral substance. So the pH scale is a measurement system that's developed to indicate the concentration of H plus ions in a solution. So if the concentration is less than 7, we consider it acidic. If it's greater than 7, it's basic. If it's equal to 7, like water, it's neutral. An important note about the pH scale is that each step represents a factor of 10. So I think this will be easier to see as we look at a picture. So here's a picture of a pH scale. Everything from 7 down, not counting 7, but 7 down, is acidic. Everything from 7 up, again not counting 7, is basic. 7 is neutral, so a pH of 7 is neutral. So if I'm going from a pH of 5 to a pH of 6, that's saying there are 10 times fewer hydronium ion or H plus ions in the pH of 6 compound than the pH of 5. If I'm going the other way, it's 5 times more H plus ions in the solution. So examples of some pH conditions. So a pH of 2 would be your gastric juices. So if you think about, if you've ever heard I have heartburn, or if you've ever had heartburn, what that means is this is your stomach. This is a pretty good picture of your stomach. Right here at the top, your stomach meets your esophagus, where you eat food. And those gastric juices, which are a pH of 2, which is highly acidic because it needs to break down your food, some of those juices have just leaked out into this little part right here at the bottom of the esophagus. And that because your stomach has this special lining that protects against that strong pH, because the esophagus doesn't, it starts to burn and creates a literal burning sensation. So if you have chronic heartburn, it's literally a burning and a breaking away of the tissue right at the entrance of the stomach. And so that's not a very good thing. So find a solution for it if you have chronic heartburn. pH of 4 would be something like tomato juice. Human urine has a slightly acidic pH of 5. Pure water with nothing in it is going to have a pH of 7. Human blood has a pH of 7.4. Hand soap is about 10, and household bleach is about 12. So an acid is any compound that forms H plus ions in solution. So some examples here, battery acid is a pH of 1. Lemon juice is a pH of 2.4. That's why you'll see the commercials that say if you eat a whole lot of acidic things like lemon juices and coffees and things, you should really be careful of the enamel on your teeth, because it is such a strong acid. It will just break down that protein on the outside of your teeth. Hydrochloric acid, that's found in your intestinal system, in your stomach, and we already talked a little bit about tomatoes and tomato juice being acidic. Basic is a compound that produces hydroxide ions in solution, or OH ions. Examples of basic solutions are seawater and hand soap and ammonia. Ammonia is a common household cleaning product, and bleach, another common household cleaning product. Both are fairly strong bases. So something to note about strong acids and strong bases is that both can burn you. A strong acid towards the top of the scale can burn you just as much. A strong base towards the top of the scale can burn you just as much as a strong acid at the bottom of the scale. Okay, so we know about acids, we know about bases, and we're going to get into later when we're talking about enzymes why knowing about them is so important. But controlling pH inside the body has all sorts of important functions. It can prevent against infection. It can allow you to break down food and not burn tissues, that kind of thing. So we have buffers all throughout our body and all throughout all living things that help maintain and maintain that homeostasis, keep that stable pH balance. So a buffer is a weak acid or base that can react with a strong acid or a strong base to prevent sudden changes in the pH. So when you have heartburn, usually you go take something like a Tums. Well, that Tums is a buffer. You chew the Tums, it's a base that reacts with the acid that's leaked from outside of your stomach, and it neutralizes that, which is why it helps eliminate that burning, because it's taking that acid, bringing it back to a more neutral number so that the burning goes away, so that the cells are not being damaged anymore. Another example is blood. It has a pH of 7.4, and any sudden changes can cause lots of issues with proteins in the blood. And so we have buffers that float around the body called bicarbonate, and we have different phosphate ions that help to control the pH in your bloodstream. So buffers that are dissolved in life's fluids play an important role in maintaining homeostasis of an organism. So let's drill that word homeostasis home again. Homeostasis is that relatively stable internal environment.